say Memphis don't get bugged, I'ma show these hoes what's up. We get to fighting in the club, you gon' get your head stuck. They say Memphis don't get bugged, I'ma show these hoes what's up. We get to fighting in the club.
Welcome to another episode of Memphis' only talk wrestling show. I am your host, Drew McIntyre. Welcome to another episode, guys. It's been a while, not really, since SummerSlam. I'm just, trying to bring you guys a video every week. For the moment, let's just talk about what's planned for the WWE. Well, first of all, I'm gonna just say Matt Hardy. For those of you who don't know, he was arrested on another DWI charge. Whipped the freaking dude. I mean, there's nothing more you can say about Matt Hardy besides that he needs some help. Him and Jeff Hardy both need some fucking intensive care. But JR posted a new blog this week, and he talked about unifying the world championships. He talked about Chris Jericho and I was going to say the Big Show, Batista returning to the WWE. And this is what, and I quote, what he said about WWE Championship. He said, "No, I never see one major champion in WWE, meaning that I don't think that the WWE World Heavyweight titles will ever be united, which essentially means that I don't see the brand splitting going away anytime soon." Then he talked about Batista and Chris Jericho. He said, and I quote, "Will Batista or Jericho ever return to WWE again? I have no info on such, but my guess is that yes, they will at some point in the future, and likely for limited time engagement. Perhaps that's just my wishful thinking. I could be dead wrong. Both would help score a bigger WrestleMania 28 number of pay-per-view buys." Then he mentioned Brock Lesnar, UFC return in December. "My instinct says it may be too early. I'm surprised that Brock is returning to headline UFC pay-per-view so soon after surgery, and especially against an opponent like Overeem, who is a world-class striker. I'm a Lesnar fan without question, and I hope that he can take Overeem down and avoid a knockout." I'm done doing horrible quotes of JR, but this is actually really what he said in the blog. But besides the whole voiceovers, just thought I'd be a little entertaining, since that's what we like to watch on TV, entertainment, WWE, right? So Mayweather versus Ortiz tomorrow, which is Saturday. Check it out for free. Back to wrestling news. A WWE creative team member quits the company. I'm not going to even mention his name because none of you probably even know who's on creative. If you do, name all creative members in the comment box because I want to know my damn self. Right now, I'm just going to take some time to give you a quick non-spoiler, don't close the video down, non-spoiler match listing for tonight's WWE SmackDown. We all know Edge is going to be making his return to SmackDown once again to host the Cutting Edge with both Randy Orton and Mark Henry. But besides that promo, which we could just let you guys know whenever my internet decides to stop going slow, which matches you'll be seeing tonight. And those matches will be Daniel Bryan versus Sin Cara, Beth Phoenix versus AJ Christian, and Wade Barrett versus Sheamus and Justin Gabriel. And Beth Phoenix and AJ is a singles match. Kind of sick about that. It makes it seem like they're going to be a match with Christian and Wade Barrett, Sheamus and Justin Gabriel, but that's not going to be the case. The Great Khali versus Heath Slater, R-Truth versus Evan Bourne. It's pretty random for R-Truth and Evan Bourne to be on SmackDown. I hope that whatever. Anyway, WWE Night of Champions coming up. But first, I did get a chance to Check out the TNA No Surrender pay-per-view for you TNA fans that think that all I'm going to do is just sit here and be a WWE mark. I am a WWE fan for a reason, because it's better than TNA. But I did watch the TNA No Surrender pay-per-views, and that's really mostly all I watch at TNA. It's mostly the pay-per-views. I might watch a few shows leading up to the pay-per-views, but other than that, TNA pay-per-views is all I really watch. I was very impressed with the fact that Robert Roode came away as #1 contender. I thought that was a great move, and I hope that he continues a great push towards winning the world title against Kurt Angle, because let's just face it, I mean, WWE. See, it shows how much I have respect for TNA. I do, sort of. But anyway, TNA really needs a fresh face as a world champion. I mean, we kind of got there when Jeff Hardy and Mr. Kennedy became champion, but it really wasn't a shocker because, you know, there were guys coming from the WWE. We figured that, you know, eventually they were going to get a world title opportunity, which, you know, they did, and they executed and won. But, you know, I'm just really tired of seeing Kurt Angle, Sting. We'll probably see Hogan as fucking champion. Who else? Any of those old guys that's been around since when I was little, since when my freaking father was little. But, you know, you get my point. The guys have just been around for a long time. I mean, you know, just go away, man. Let Robert Roode, hopefully Robert Roode will win the title, because if he does, that's a great look for TNA. Probably will give him a little boost in ratings if, you know, Roode comes out there and cuts a good promo every night. Does a few shoots or 2 or 3 or 4, you know, like CM Punk, but of course nobody's gonna be as good. New Survivor Series poster has been posted and has labeled that not John Cena, but The Rock could be possibly wrestling at Survivor Series. Now, if that is the case, I think it will be. Some people say the steam will, for the pay-per-view against him and John Cena facing off at WrestleMania, the steam will kind of lower a little bit. But I actually somewhat believe that it will be a lot better, because, you know, people will be even more pumped up to see The Rock face John Cena at WrestleMania. But I don't know who exactly he's going to face at Survivor Series if he does indeed wrestle. I would just think that maybe they'll have a face-to-face moment. Maybe throw a few punches, a few STFs, a few FUs, attitude adjustments, a few rock bottoms, people's elbows, etc. But if they're talking about having a match, I would think a proper match for The Rock, maybe a warm-up match, would be against Wade Barrett. The reason I say that is because, I mean, last we really seen it was The Rock bottom, and Wade Barrett doing with people's elbow. So if you're gonna just have a little mediocre style match for The Rock leading up to his pay-per-view match with John Cena, I think the way to go would be Wade Barrett, because, you know, he needs to be used for something. I mean, it's a job to The Rock. He's jobbing to The Rock. I would job to The Rock. I'm just saying. But WWE Night of Champions coming up. I wish I had a list of the card, but I can pretty much, you know, think about it in my head, because WWE doesn't have many matches at pay-per-views like they used to anyway. But I would think the first match on the card would be Air Boom versus Truth Miz, whatever you want to call it, tag team, or whatever they're calling themselves. I have no idea. So I really believe that our Truth and Miz are going to win the tag team titles. I think it's a great look. I really am not a fan of them being in a tag team period, but, you know, obviously the WWE sees something different, and it'll kind of shake up the division a little bit. You're not seeing the same guys winning the tag team titles. I mean, basically the WWE are doing is just to kind of preserve the division until they get some new guys in, which I'm sure we're going to see probably within the next year. I really hope that the Usos will get a tag team opportunity, but that is not the case. Kelly versus Beth Phoenix. Another match I remember. Hopefully, I would think Beth Phoenix would win in Buffalo. Just saying. I mean, she's in her hometown. If she loses, that would really suck. Like, for real. I'm pretty sure she's gonna get a huge pop too, or something. She ain't gonna get no CM Punk treatment, but she gonna get a good pop on this. What other match? The United States title is gonna be on the line. Is the Intercontinental Championship gonna be on the line? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I don't know. I would think so. Anyway, United States title match. I believe it's Alex Riley, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and I think it's John Morrison. I would think that Jack Swagger would get the win, based on the steam that's been going on Raw within the past few weeks to a month. So hopefully Jack Swagger does get the belt. He really does need something. I think his character is kind of getting a little stale here lately. I mean, he hasn't really been on a rise since he was World Heavyweight Champion. People 2 years from now won't even remember that even happened. So I think it'll be real good if Swagger can get some kind of title around his waist, whether it's a United States title, maybe even the tag team title. If you put him in a good enough tag team, I for one would rather see Drew McIntyre holding that United States title right now, but that's just my thought. As a matter of fact, I would rather see Drew McIntyre as WWE champion. That's just coming from me because I'm a Drew McIntyre fan, and I think the WWE are screwing him to death. Big name expected to return to WWE TV. As we've been reporting, WWE wants this year's Survivor Series pay-per-view to be a big major event. And with The Rock having indicated on Twitter that he will be teaming with John Cena at the event. So, I just answered my own question, and probably you guys' question, unless you already knew. It appears The Rock and John Cena are going to be teaming at the pay-per-view. So, WrestleZone has learned that Vince will be returning to TV to build towards the big pay-per-view. So, Vince is the big name returning. Just so you guys know, Vince McMahon is still running the WWE. A lot of people, probably if you're some young children watching this, you probably don't realize that Triple H is not, really taking over. I'm sure, of course, he does have a few tips to throw in for creative, but Vince McMahon is still running the gadgets. So just to let you guys know. All right, the big main event for Night of Champions. Back to Night of Champions. I kind of got off the subject just a little bit there. Well, first I'll just go ahead and do it. John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio. It's not really built. Matches it hasn't been built up really. I expect for Alberto to win, probably a cheap victory. If John Cena wins, I wouldn't be surprised either. That is his belt that Del Rio's holding. It's still his belt until they change the look. I really hate the spinner belt. Well, I don't hate the spinner belt. It's just been around too long. To me, we're in a whole new generation we're heading towards. I mean, it's 2010. It's from 2010 to 2011. You get what I'm saying. We're in a new decade. So, that title was kind of past decade, moving towards it even more. So, I think it's right that they do change the title eventually. But on to the next. CM Punk versus Triple H. I really don't know who's going to win that match. I really don't think it's going to be decided. As a matter of fact, I believe that Kevin Nash is going to make his return and probably either help CM Punk or Triple H. I would think that he would help Triple H, and they form some kind of stable, like a new NWO. We might see X-Pac come out of nowhere and fucking drop kick CM Punk. Just a thought. It's a lot that could happen. I mean, this is one of those pay-per-views. Once again, I want to apply WWE. This is one of those pay-per-views that we're again looking forward to. That's 3 in a row. We were looking forward to Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and now we're looking forward to Night of Champions. So that's good by WWE. Other than that, that's pretty much the end of this show. And it appears my phone is ringing just in time. So see you guys, I guess, would be probably next Thursday or Friday. Subscribe, bitches.
Get your head stuck.